Welcome to Hemisphere Tech Academy channel. This is a continuation of our data analysis class, and today basically we are doing a project. And this was promised to the data analysis students, and we're doing a project on Adidas sales data set. We'll be analyzing this data, end to end analysis of this data will be deriving insight from this data. So I would want you to follow carefully all the steps that are in this video and practice it. If you have any question, you can drop your question in the comment section or reach out to Hemisphere Tech Academy. You can reach out to us, go in and check our profile. You'll see our contact details. You can send an email or send a WhatsApp message. All right, thank you. So let's drive in. Let's drive in. So the first thing is that we are going to import this data. We're going to import this data. Let's come to data here. Just open a blank sheet, a blank Excel worksheet, and the data set, the link to the data set will be provided to the student. If you need it, you can just write in the comment section, I need the data set. It will be sent to you. You can provide your email address and we'll send it across to you. We'll send it across to you. You will need the data sets to work on this project, on this analysis. So, all right, so let's go straight to data. We would need to import that data. It is on your system, right? That's good. But I'm going to take you to this process of importing your data to a worksheet. There are two things that can be done. You can either just go to your download file or wherever you have the data set on your system, maybe on your document or your desktop, you open it directly and you start analyzing. But because I want to take you through the process of how to import a data set into a worksheet, and importing a data set into a worksheet can be from any sources. One of the common source we know is from the folder on your system, from your system, the file on your system. Data sets can be imported from other external sources like a website. You can import a data set from a website. And I'm going to show you that, on your ribbon, just locate the data part on the ribbon. On that side, go to get data. When you come to get data, at the left corner you see click on get data, so you will see all data sources that you can extract or you can import a data set from. You can import from file, this is your system. You can import from a database, that is if you have a database that you're connected to, maybe SQL server or Microsoft Access database, you know all of that. So from your file also, which is your system, you can either, then there comes a category depending on the data type you want to deal with. Talking about data type means that the format of that document that you want to work on. Is it an Excel workbook? Is it a CSV file? The word CSV means comma separated values. Is it a XML file? Is it a JSON file? Is it a PDF? You can extract a data set from a PDF if that PDF has tables where they have rows and columns. So data sets can be extracted from it. You can extract from Azure. You can see all of this platform. You can extract from other sources like even website. All you just need is just have the link to that website. You can extract from a picture. I was telling someone that if you have a data set, probably you snap a data set with your phone. You can extract that data set into your Excel worksheet from that picture. Are we following that? So I have to take us through this so that we understand this also. We understand this also. All right. So I would probably in some other videos do something related to that. But for the sake of this project, let's just go and extract our data set. So the data set for this project is in a CSV file. Is in a CSV file. So I'll come to from file because I've downloaded the data set, so it will be in my file. Then I'll just come down here and click from test/CSV. Click on that. Then it's going to load and refer me to my system. Yeah, this might be slow depending on how smart your system is. All right. So next thing is I have to go locate it. I must actually know where I downloaded this file to. It could either be on your download if that is where you saved it, but mine is in my document. I have mine in my document, so you can see. So I went straight to my document and Adidas sales dataset. This is the dataset I want to analyze. So the point is, you can see that the type of that dataset here is comma separated value. That is why I choose that comma separated value. If you choose Excel, you will not find that file because that file was not an Excel file. This is an Excel comma separated value. It's quite different from Excel. All right. Please take note of that because if you don't follow this, you might have issues in this stage. All right. So select that, then come down here, select, click on import. So now you will see the reason why I wanted to take you through this process. By the time I click on import, it will start creating a connection. Then it's going to bring me to another, you know, interface, which is called, this interface is what leads to Power Query. Like I said, most people use Excel and they don't know that there is something called Power Query in Excel. What is Power Query? The role of Power Query is simply to transform your data, right? Not only to transform your data, but that is the core goal is that you are able to transform that data set. Take for instance, the data set you're working on might be dirty. You can transform it. And when you transform that data set, if that data set is updated, you would not need to reclean it again. Just keep on refreshing it will, whatsoever you have done, whatsoever uh, activity that has been done in that Power Query will continue to impact that data set going forward. What I'm trying to explain is this. If you have a data set like a sales data set that is still a continuous record, which means you are still inputting record daily as you are making sales, you are inputting some record. So there are possibilities that the data entry person makes some error again. So if you have used Power Query to query that data set, you will not have to repeat the same work you've done on Power Query again on that same data set. Once you just refresh, it will automatically clean up that data set on and on again based on the queries you have performed before. So the goal of this Power Query is that it helps you see if there are errors in your data set. Now we've opened this data set, we can see there are two basic things here. We have the load option. If you load this data, it means that you have checked that it is clean. You can see it will give you a preview. You can see data type detection. It gave you a preview of the first 200 rows so that you can view through these first 200 rows and see if there are errors there. You can see if there are errors there. Maybe in the area where there ought to be date, you are seeing alphabet, you will be able to detect. Okay, are there errors in this data set, right? If there are no errors there, you can load the data set. But if there are errors in this data set, you will have to transform it. To transform means you have to make changes. You have to make changes. But this data set has actually been cleaned before now. That is why we can see it looking neat and proper, which means we might not have to do any transformation. But for the sake of curiosity, I will go through the transform data so you just have a view of what it looked like. I would have rather just click on load and start working. But let's click on the transform data and see where we come to. So like I said, this class would actually be divided into sections. This project actually, Adidas says dataset we're analyzing. So just follow this one. Then the next part also, would come up immediately. All right. So this is what the transformation area looks like. You can see. So at this point, you are able to see the first thing here is you can see what you have. When you come to, you can see all of these functions. I'm going to explain this when I'm doing a teaching on Power Query, on our class on Power Query. I'm going to be doing this. This is an advanced analysis knowledge that you should know as a data analysis, as a data analyst. You can see under transform, you see all kinds of, you want to replace a value, you want to detect data type on pivot columns, all of those things, you see all these functions here. Or you see, yeah, so these are basically the things you have access to do when you're transforming your data set. You can even create a new column. You can create a new column right in this place. You can create a new column right here. So these are basically the things that we can pick out of this. We can pick out of this. All right. So because of for the sake of this class, I'm just going to close and load. But it is good that I take you through this process so you have this understanding. You have this understanding. Yeah, so I'm going to close and load. Just give it time. Once you click on close and load, it's going to pop up on your screen. So you can see one of the things that this will have done for you that you have to appreciate is that the moment you bring in a data set through by importing that data set, you know, is one of the things you get free of charge is that that data set comes into a table directly. But if you go through the process of opening it from your system, you will have to create a table. You have to do all of that. Can you see? Now, the data set is in a table. You all know what a table is. I've explained that in our first class. This is a table. You can see all of them, all of these in header rows, banded rows, and all of that. And you can see all of this. So you can see that the table name, the data set has a table name, which is Adidas sales data set, which is actually the name of the data set we're working on. So we can see that right there. So that is that. So I believe you get this properly well. I believe we get this properly well. So the next thing I would want us to do right here is that just look through your data set. Look through your data set. When you want to analyze the data, first approach is that study the data headings to have a proper understanding of what the data is. So the first thing you have is retailer, the names of retailer. The next thing you have is retailer ID. You have your invoice date, you have region, you have state, you have city, you have product, you have price per unit, okay, unit sold, total sales, operating profit, operating margin, sales method. All right, so let's do some formatting. All the numbers needs to be numbers. Let's go to date should remain as date. Okay, correct. All right, let me take off all these button. Let me take off the filter buttons. Yeah. All right. Okay. So the date is there. So all this my price. I would bring them to currency. Let them be in dollars. Unit sold is not a price. It's just a quantity. And so total sales is currency. Operating profit is currency. Operating margin. Okay, this is not all right. Okay. So the next thing that you need to pay attention to right now is to study this data set, right? Study it. What Ask questions. Because one of your duty as a data analyst is not just to start plotting graph. What insights can I derive that will be useful for this business? That is a question you need to start asking. This is a sales data for Adidas. What insight can I give to them from this sales record all through the all through their timeline? All through their timeline, I can see this sales record since to span from just 2021, yes, 2020 to 2021. What insight will be helpful for them? What can I communicate? You understand? Your role as a data analyst is to convert a data set into a meaningful insight that can inspire action. That can inspire action. So looking at this data set, what can I look into? What can be generated? And to work smart, you start answering those questions one after the other. Okay, these are retailers. What can I communicate about these retailers? We have about how many of them? This sales record is about 9,649 records in this record, and we have a lot of retailers. So the first thing I can say is that you have to pen down all of this insight that you want to communicate. You have to pen it down. Okay, the first thing is I want to analyze the performance, retailers performance. So I opened a new tab and I'm dedicating that tab to just explore everything about the retailers, to just explore everything about our retailers. Are we following that? So that's just basically what I want to do on this tab. I just want to explore everything about my retailers. Okay, okay, this retailer ID is still pertain to retailer. So invoice date, what can I do with this date and with this date? So I will just one of the things I can pick here is trend. The basic thing you can use with your date is simply trend, monthly trend, daily trend, and all of that. So just create a tab for trend. Trend. Trend can be monthly, daily, and year. So sales trend. So we do sales trend. Okay. So what about region? We can do region performance also. That will be region performance. So you want to explore how sales is working on each of this region. You want to bring out an insight to that also. So we have state and city. I would rather just go for state. You can do city also, but most preferably just I would just prefer to go for yeah, you can do city also. Okay, let's do location. Let's do location. We do location. You can say sales by location. So this cut across either state and city. All right, you do an analysis referring to that. All right, what sales can we look at? Okay, products, the product you are selling, each of the products you are selling. What can you present to that? The analysis can be done on that. Yes, very correct. So you can give an insight. Some of the insights could be the best performing product out of all these products you are selling. You want to know the product that is performing well, the product that is not performing well, the most demanded product. All of those questions are the things you want to present. What product earn us more revenue, right? These are important questions you need to ask that will help your analysis and will help the business. Because with all of these insights, you are able to help the business to make decisions. To make decisions. A business want to know, okay, a product that we are not getting more revenue from, why is it so? Is it that we are having uh, less demand on that product, or do we need to do a promo sales to boost up for the product? Do we understand? So these are just things that insights that you have to bring out. So we do product performance. I'm going to create that one, product performance. Yes, and for this product performance, I'll take it to the last. Yeah, okay. All right. So basically, all of these figures, so all of those things you compare it all through price per unit. Okay, we have price per unit, unit sold, total sales, and all of that. Okay, I will have something for all my KPIs. My KPIs is just simply key performance metric, key performance indicator. Just do KPI. Here we would tell our profit, the total profit made, sales, and all and more. You can tell average sales, all of those things. You work them out here. You just explain. It is more like a description of what the sales record look like. All right. So the next thing also is the sales method. You can do an analysis on this sales method. What this sales method simply explain here is simply what in some sales there are type of method in which that is involved in selling to the customers. In-store sales, like what we have here, could be customers that come to the store to buy directly from the store. Outlet sales, yeah, this could be that the business has some outlets in different location where customers can just go. Maybe after they place an order, they will go to the outlet to receive the order. While we have, I'm sure we also have online here. I can see online sales also. Online sales could just be those who make an order online. So you can also give an insight to tell the business, okay, what sales method generate more profit for you or generate more revenue for the business. What sales method do you think what sales method does your client, your customers prefer the most? You can see the best performing sales method. So if a sales method is not yielding much result, then you want to know why. You want to explore why, right? You want to see, okay, what can we do better? So these are the things that you first need to just describe it, describe the situation. So to do that, let's create sales method performance, right? So we have create all these analysis metric that we are going to be exploring in this data set. This is beautiful. This awesome. That is the first stage. That is the first stage. You've brought out some basic highlights. that you want to explore into in this data set. All right, so I'm going to take us through the next thing to learn, right? For us to do this, the best approach is you are going to use the pivot table. What is a pivot table? A pivot table is the function, or this function help you to summarize a large data set. It is a summarized table. You get it now. See this table we have here, this original data set table, you can see how large it is. What pivot table means is that it summarize this large table into what you need, what you want to see. Are you getting it now? That is what pivot table is all about in the simple term. Okay, if what I want to see is just something about retailers and the revenue they've generated, it will summarize this table into that alone to give you that information. It will give you that information alone. All right, unlike having all this large table. So that is why for your analysis, it is good to approach your analysis using a pivot table. It is good to approach your analysis using a pivot table. And when you use a pivot table, you will still not lose the connection from that pivot table to your entire data set. And that connection can still be created in all the, if you have 10 pivot table from that data set, you can still create a connection to all of these tables. Are we following? So for those who don't know what a pivot table is all about, so to create a pivot table, the first thing you need to do is that ensure that you are in between your major data set. Ensure that you are just there. You click on any of the cells there. So go to your ribbon, go to insert on your ribbon, click on insert. Just click on your insert. So when after you click on insert, then you will see at the left corner, at the top left corner, you see pivot table, right? Just click on pivot table. Okay, follow carefully. An interface will pop up on your screen. I'm going to take you through this. So the first thing it asks, it says select a table or range. That table has been selected already, which is the table you are working with. You can see the name of the table there, Adidas sales data set raw file is there already. So you don't need any edit on that. That's why I said at first you must be in that, you must just click on a cell in that data set. If you didn't do that, you will have trouble here. So make sure you have done that. So the next question is choose where you want the pivot table to be placed. The option they give you, do you want it to be placed on a new worksheet or an existing worksheet? If you click new worksheet, it's going to open a new sheet for you and the pivot will be on that new sheet. But if you are going to use existing worksheet, which is what I would recommend, why am I recommending existing worksheet? This is because we've already created new worksheets for our analysis for all the questions we want to answer. That is the first thing we did. All these retailer performance, sales trend, those are the worksheets we want to use for the analysis. So they are already existing. That's why I'm going to click existing worksheet. So the next thing I'll put is the location. You can see location. So in that location, just enter that location, then come to, after you're in that location, please, then come to the place you want your pivot table to appear, the existing worksheet you want the pivot table to appear. Click on that existing worksheet. This is retailer performance I want. Click on retailer performance. You can see it there. It will pop up on that location. Then go to the cell where you want it to start from. I want it to start from cell A1. I'll click on it. You can see it right there. That is sorted. So I'll click on this, add this data to the data model. Click on it. then click OK and watch what happens. So the moment I click on OK, my pivot table will appear on that existing worksheet I've selected, which is retailers performance, because I want to start working on retailers performance right now. So I'm using this one to explain pivot table to you, for the first time. All right. So now pay attention to the interface you have on your screen. On my right here, from where I instructed the pivot table to start from, which is on cell A1, you can see I have my pivot table right here. I have it here, but there is no information on this pivot table now because I have not made any summary that I want. So, but look at the right side of your screen. You will see the pivot table field. Let me enlarge it a little. You will see the pivot table field. Pay attention to this. See, so right here, you will see that data set that you have. You will see that all the details, all the tables, all the headings in your data set will be listed here. All the headings from retailer ID, invoice date, region, state, city, product, all the headings down to sales method. Remember those headings now. If you remember, all of these headings, retailer, everything will appear in your pivot table. You can see retailer ID, invoice date, region, city, product, all of this information are the things that will be listed in this data field. You can see they will be listed there. So this is the place where you now summarize the data set yourself based on what you need, what you want to analyze, based on the question you want to answer. Are we following? Based on the question you want to answer. So now I have said that I basically dedicated this data, this spreadsheet, retailer performance, just for to analyze any question related to retailer, right? So I will start summarizing that based on what I want. So the first thing is, let me ask myself, what performance do I want to create insights for my retailers? The first thing is uh, I can decide to start by saying, how many retailers do I even have? That's one thing. How many retailers do I have? How do I do that? Okay, let me come to this retailer. There are two ways to pick it. You can either check the box. If you click on it, the retailers will be summarized here. So you can see that what you have here is a unique list of your retailers, unlike this entire spreadsheet where you have everything listed about 9,000. And what we see that some of them are repeated. But what the pivot did is that it just summarized it to you. Just summarized, brought out the unique retailer's name. And these are all the retailers in this spreadsheet: Amazon, Foot Locker, Kohl's, Sport Direct, Walmart, and WestJet. These are all the retailers. So if I want to say that, okay, we want to know the numbers of retailers, we already know it. These are the retailers we have. We have several. We have five of them. One, two, three, four, three. Okay, we have six retailers. All right, that's it. All right, so the next thing, let's look at this and say, look through the headings and look at what you can bring out. I can decide to say that I want to see the total sales that each of these retailers has made made so far. What is the total sale? Drag in the total sales to value, drag it there. So you will be able to see the total sales of each of these retailers. You can see Amazon, this is their sales. But please, let's convert this to currency so that it becomes more clear. All right, we can see now that Amazon has 77,000. 698. Don't mind me. This is 77,698 dollars plus. So we can see Foot Locker has 220 millions plus. WestJet 242. So we can see the highest here is WestJet. All right. So that is a summary. You can see that this is a summarized table. This is something someone can just basically see and say, okay, yes, this is an information communicated simply. So one thing I want you to learn again is you can sort this table. We can see that I don't like a table whereby there is not sorted. What do I mean by sorting? You can sort to have the highest figure at the top or to have it at at the bottom. You can sort it to be ascending order or descending order, right? So that it look uh professional. So let's do that. Come to your row labels. You see that filter button there. Click on the filter button. You see sort option. Don't do sort A to Z, sort Z to A. This one will just sort by alphabet. But if you want to sort based on the sales, the numbers, come to more sort options. So you will see these more sort options here. You click come to this one, you can do ascending order. So you change it from retailer, right? Change it to sales. You want to sort by sales, not by the names of the retailers. You want to sort by the sales, which is highest sales should be at the top, lowest sales should be below. All right, if you do that, once you're done with that, click on OK. Let's see what we have. All right, so what we have here is more like a descending order, lowest down to highest. You can see. But I think I want to prefer the highest to lowest. So let me go back there again. More subtouch option, descending order. So I want this one. Let's try this. I want the highest to be at the top. All right, we can see that. So we have 242. West J is the first. Next is Foot Locker, Sport Direct, and the like. So let me create a new. Let me start a role here. So I'm going to say that this is retailer sales, or just say retailers sales performance by revenue. So this is retailers sales performance mind my spelling. So this retailers sales performance by revenue, make it bold. You can make it bold. Okay, this retailers sales performance by revenue. So that's a question, that's an insight that you have provided. What can we also still say about our retailers again? With this analysis now, aside from the fact that we've known the highest retailers, so we can know the retailer that made more sales. This is very clear to us that WestJ is the best performing retailer based on sales, revenue, right? Then followed by Foot Locker. So, but it is not only pertaining to sales. We are not going to only measure by sales. What about, okay, we have total sales, operating profit, we have what can we still communicate about um, our retailers? Our retailers. Okay, let me go into this data set and see what we need to look at. We have price per unit, units sold, total sales, operating profit. Okay, okay, let's see. Let's see what we have on the retailers based on profit, based on this operating profit. Let's see. Please, and again, you can remove this grand total. Just come. click on this pivot table, right click on it. You will see remove grand total. If you don't need that information, then just remove grand total to take it off. You can see to take it off, so you have it this way. Simple. So copy this data, copy this pivot, select everything, Control C, come down here, do Control V. So we'll just edit our selection here. So this time we want to do retailers sales. I can just say retailers performance by operating margin, operating profit, I mean. All right. So what I will unselect? I will unselect this sum of total sales and bring in, you will drag it up, you drag it up back here and bring in operating profit. Bring in operating profit. Drag in operating profit. All right. So we can now see the operating profit for each of them. So we can see. So we will have to sort again, just sort it again and sort it again like we did the other time. Let's do descending, then select on the sum of operating profit, click on OK. So this will give us a sort from the highest to the lowest. So we can see the one with the highest operating profit. West Gear still gives us the highest profit. Is it like that all through? See, almost like that all through. It's still the same. So we made more sales with West Gear. We add more operating profit with West Gear. It still follows. So that's okay. We can see that pattern is totally the same thing. All right. All right. So we've done something with the retailers also, right? That is perfect. So you can at the same time decide to would plot their graph, their chart here to show the insight here. So come in here, come to insert on your ribbon, select on this data set, click on insert. Then on your insert, you would see recommended chart. Click on recommended chart. This can be a good chart for you to use, but you can just look through. Do you want to use a bar chart? Do you want to use a column chart? I think I want to use a bar chart for this analysis. I'm going to use this one. I'm going to use a bar chart and I'm going to use a bar chart. Just select that. Okay. So I have my chart for the first question. So I have my chart for the first question. So please, I want to take off all of these unnecessary things here. Just on that chart, right click, remove field, or don't click on remove field, do hide all field buttons on chart so that the main information will show up. You can see the chart title, this total here, you can edit it. The chart title should be the same thing you have here, which is the information you are communicating with your pivot table. Retailer sales performance by revenue. Edit it here to say retailers sales performance by revenue. We're getting that. Okay. So this total here, I don't want to see this one. It's not needed. You can click on it and delete it. All right. So we'll do a lot more. We'll do a lot more on this editing of your table. We'll do much more on that. But basically, I believe we get what we're doing right here. So another thing, I want all my values to come in front of each of these retailers rather than having it underneath here. I'll click on this plus button here, come to data label. I think data label, this one brings them in front. If you see the option uh, outside, outside end is okay. Outside end is okay. Then this one below, I can delete that one. This outside end is okay. And what I will just need to do is drag it, drag it again. Okay, this is better. So we'll still do a lot more of editing, change the colors to what you prefer and all of that. But this is okay for now. This is okay for now because the goal of this analysis at the end of the day is that we are going to still create a report, a visualization report. But this is where we are starting from. This is where we are starting with. So let's do the same thing for this question here, please. I want to create more space. Okay, so we've done for this first question. Let me make the subject bold. So let's create a chart for this other question, retailers performance by operating profit. Let's select that and just be on any of these and go to insert as usual, click on recommended chart. Let's use the same bar chart again, click on bar chart. You can see this already and just select that. Okay, do the same thing, repeat the same process, remove all the field, hide all the field button. Don't use remove, use hide all field buttons on chart. Use that. Then this total legend here, we don't need it on this kind of analysis here. The title, change the title to what you have. This is retailers performance by operating profit. All right, let me select it and reduce the font. Okay, let me make it bold. All right, okay. So this also, let me click on this port, this plus. Let me bring the data label. Let me bring them out, which is what we want. Outside end. This one below. Let's delete the one below. So we can see that okay, this is, so I think this is just basically fair. It's basically fair based on what we want. So this is basically fair based on what we want to see. Right. This is basically what we want to see. All right. So let me see how many hours have we spent on this? Many minutes have we spent? And all right. So I'm going to bring this to a close. Just follow the next one so that I don't shock you up. I'm going to bring this to an end right now. We are going to like I said, this is an end-to-end project, data analysis project. Just follow carefully. You've learned how to import your data set. That's the first thing you've learned. You've also have a view of what Power Query look like, transforming your data and loading your data into your Excel spreadsheet. You've learned how to use the pivot table to summarize a large data set. And with this, we've created some insight. We've done a chart, a basic chart also. So just take your time to repeat this process, practice this and do it, understand it. is very important. All right, thank you so much. Watch out and look out for the continuation of this class. All right, thank you very much. Have a wonderful day. Bye.